Hey everyone, welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Settle in, because today's story is loaded with whispers, mixed signals, and a love story that won't leave the spotlight. Before we dive in, tap subscribe and share this video so you don't miss a thing. Now, here's what the industry is buzzing about. The latest tremor in the acting world is centered on Alp Navruz, and it all traces back to comments said to have come from his fiancée, Alina, in conversations with people she trusts. Those comments slipped out of private circles and ignited the rumor mill, setting social media alight with theories and hot takes. The boldest claim? That Alina, in a bid to draw a line through lingering speculation about Alp's past, reportedly hinted about a former romance of his and used a phrase people can't stop quoting: "He doesn't love her anymore." That sentence, short and stinging, has been dissected from every angle. Was it a calm declaration, a loving defense of the present, or a shot across the bow to the past? According to those in the know, the her in question points to a previous co-star, the kind of name that tabloids have linked to Alp for years. No initials, no tags, just enough context to stir old dust. What insiders add is that Alina wasn't trying to start a fire, she was attempting to put one out. She wanted to clarify the emotional map once and for all, to make it known that Alp's life has moved forward, and that the door behind them has been closed with intention, not hesitation. The phrase people keep quoting has been interpreted as her way of ending the uncertainty that comments, posts, and throwback rumors have kept alive. Those same sources say she emphasized that she isn't disturbed by what once was, because what once was is no longer, and what matters is the chapter they are writing together now. If the intention was to stop the chatter, the effect was the opposite. Suddenly, everyone wanted to read between lines that may not even be there. Naturally, all eyes swung from Alina's alleged words to Alp's past, because the public memory of him working closely with a certain actress is long and persistent. Their creative chemistry once fed column inches and fan threads, and while time carried that story downstream, it never fully vanished. It takes very little for those old headlines to float back up. And now, with Alp's engagement to Alina shining at the center of his life, the echoes of that earlier connection have grown louder again, as if engagement invites comparison with everything that came before it. In that context, Alina's supposed phrasing has been read as a clear signal. The past belongs to the past. The former co-star, for her part, has not publicly addressed any of this. Her own pages and posts remain locked on scripts, sets, and schedules. New projects, new looks, new routines, nothing that nods at questions people keep tossing into her comments. Some fans say her silence is classy and final, a statement with no need for words. Others are convinced a response is on the way, and that it will land at precisely the moment it can reshape the narrative. Whether she will speak, or whether silence is the choice, becomes its own cliffhanger. And where is Alp in all of this? Exactly where those who follow him closely would expect, keeping his private life private. Even during the happiest moments of this engagement, he has given only glimpses, carefully framed, gently worded, never too much, never too little. Friends say he finds the revived speculation frustrating, not because it poses a real threat to what he and Alina have, but because it attaches noise to what they would prefer be a quiet, sacred space. He is said to believe that adding comments to comments multiplies problems, so he chooses not to feed the frenzy. When asked for more, he sticks to the steady ground of work, preparations, and everyday normalcy that, for him, means staying out of the fray. Even so, the alleged remarks attributed to Alina have thrust this story back into rotation. The conversation about Alp's history and the identity of the woman people assume was referenced as being reviewed, re-argued, and repackaged thread by thread. Whatever the underlying facts may be, the effect is unmistakable, curiosity is alive again, and watchers are poised for any move, any hint, any sign from anyone involved. The idea that this story will fade quickly? Do not count on it. Rumors also say that the way those private words leaked out caused a small quake among the couple's friends. Some in their inner circle are baffled at how selective quotes traveled so far. Others insist Alina made a deliberate choice to plant a flag, to say, with grace but certainty, that her love story is about the present and the future, not about a shelf of old headlines. Those who claim to have been there describe Alina as serene and confident, telling a trusted few that Alp has entered a gentler, clearer emotional phase, no second-guessing, no unfinished business, and that he is at peace with that. This calm has a way of disarming people. That's why, in gossip corners, she is being labeled the confident fiancée, a woman who knows what she has and doesn't need to compare it to what was. Meanwhile, whispers from sets where Alp has been working suggest that co-stars and crew are wary of even mentioning the topic around him. The consensus among those who've stood beside him under bright lights is that he dislikes seeing the past resurrected as if it were a ghost still roaming the halls. And though he is not one to lecture anyone about their curiosity, he has quietly decided that silence is the better shield. During the run-up to the engagement, he reportedly narrowed his schedule, focused on craft, cut out noise, and let the rest swirl around without dragging him in. Discipline, not drama. As for the woman people assume these words refer to, even her own supporters are divided. Some are exhausted by the constant back-referencing and argue that it is unfair to glue her name to a storyline that's finished. Others point out that in the world of entertainment, past relationships are never fully retired, curiosity is currency, and people will always ask for another look at an old picture. Will she sit for a magazine and set the record straight? Will a live interview bring answers? Or will she let the chatter dissolve while she keeps the spotlight on her work? The guessing game is part of what keeps the clicks coming. There is another detail that can't be ignored. The way Alina has carried herself through this swirl. The portrait painted by those closest to her is of a woman who refuses to measure her relationship against an echo. She has been calm in rooms where others were not, firm where others might be anxious. She has told confidants that none of this has strained what she and Alp share, that their bond is stable and intentional, and that nothing from yesterday can rewrite the chapter they are in. Commentators read this as a steady stride toward marriage, an assurance that the foundation is set, and that both are moving in step toward what comes next. Inevitably, all of this has placed Alp's private life in the brightest possible glare. Old wounds are being re-examined by people who never felt them. New beginnings are inspected for flaws by people who have never met them. Tabloid oxygen is being pumped into rooms that were meant to be quiet. And still, everyone waits for a statement from someone, anyone, a line in a Q&A, a caption in a carousel, a few sentences in a live stream that flips the conversation. Until then, the noise keeps moving, and every hour adds another layer to a story built on glances and guesses. There's even a split among the friends of the couple about how these leaks should be interpreted. Some say the quotes have been twisted into sharper shapes than they originally were, that the sentence, "he doesn't love her anymore," is being used without context, bent to sound harsher than intended. Others argue the opposite, that the line was chosen precisely because it is definitive, because it leaves no space for maybe to creep back in. In the tug-of-war over what Alina meant, a curious pivot appeared in a few posts and comments. Some people claim the phrase was misheard as "he doesn't love me anymore," an error that briefly upended the conversation before being corrected. That confusion only amplified the sense that every word is under a microscope. If anything, the larger takeaway is that Alp is setting firm boundaries around his life, and that those boundaries are meant to be understood by everyone watching. Fans have also noticed something subtle about his online presence. The posts have been tighter, the captions cooler, less effusive. There are images of nature, of set life, of the quiet corners he's always loved, but no winks at the rumor, no cryptic quotes pointed at the past, no fuel for the speculation engines. To many, this is a silent reply, a way of acknowledging the conversation without participating in it. Industry observers interpret this restraint as strategic, a refusal to let commentary become content. Protect the image, protect the relationship, protect the peace, by not boxing it up for public debate. As for Alina, sources insist she is steady as a metronome. Around friends, she repeatedly conveys trust in Alp and in the choices they've made together, and she has no intention of letting prior chapters have editorial power over the current one. The gossip world sees this posture and can't decide if it's the ultimate show of confidence or a shade too bold. Depending on what corner of the internet you visit, Alina is either the textbook example of modern composure or a daring truth-teller who knew her words might shake the room and didn't flinch. Those two readings sit side by side, each emboldened by the same sentence. The woman thought to be the ex remains, at least for now, quiet. Her calendar appears full. Her team is booking meetings and shaping new plans. She shows up on sets, in rehearsals, on photo calls, doing the work that keeps her moving forward. Whether her silence is a shield or a pause button is anybody's guess. The expectation among headline writers is that a surprise statement could drop at any moment, a careful paragraph that closes the loop or a single sentence that opens a new one. That possibility alone is enough to keep this story perched at the top of the feed. And so we arrive at the familiar frame. A love triangle everyone talks about, even if only two people are actively living it. The past still echoes, the engagement redefines the present, carefully placed words bend the future in small degrees. Alp, the private lead. Alina, the poised partner. And the unnamed former love, hovering as an idea more than a presence. Together, those elements create the perfect storm for entertainment chatter. The truth is that even the smallest comment from any of them could flip the narrative within minutes, and everyone knows it. That awareness keeps eyes fixed on screens and ears tuned to interviews, waiting for the moment a subtext becomes a headline. We'll be watching it all here at Turkish Spotlight Secrets, and you know we'll bring you every shift, every hint, every whisper that matters. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure you're subscribed to Turkish Spotlight Secrets and share this video with friends who love a good story. Until the next update, stay tuned and stay curious.